All right. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming and spending some of your valuable free time on today's presentation. Energy Unleashed. Master your altered states for lasting transformation. The definitive guide for inspired souls. So, we're going to start off with some energy. We're going to unleash the energy in the room. We're going to talk about something called energetics. And let me just hit the slide here. Oh, there we go. So what we're going to do, I'm going to actually um, turn down this stop share here so you can see my face. So I want you to put your left hand up. I don't need to see you. And I want you to remember a time when you were like fascinated with what's happening with a lot of clarity, or like your energy was just on fire because you knew what you were about to receive was going to change your life. And bring this tenacious fascination, bring a memory of the time where you was the most focused you've ever been. And I'll give yourself permission to have that energy right now and kind of bundle it, put it into your left hand and just feel it. And then put your other hand up like this and feel a lot of enthusiasm because you're focused here to learn some secrets of the universe, some revelations. I'm going to go deep so that you guys can get something obvious that you can use today to your journey so you can manifest your highest expression. That's what I'm all about. That's everything I do is to serve others in that way. So think about how exciting it is to be in a free webinar and get at least one big insight that's really going to help your life move forward. And then I want you to, because you're having that, you know that's going to happen. You're enthusiastic and tenaciously fascinated, and they'll go back and forth like this. You're going to blend them together. You're going to go tenacious fascination, enthusiasm, back and forth, back and forth. Bring your hands closer and closer together. Three, two, one, and then just push it forward. You've got this tenacious fascination and enthusiasm, and then I'm gonna like open up my hands like this, and I invite you to this. So just like we're gonna create a container for everybody who was watching this now or in the future is just gonna be in this container during this call. And so it is. The field is now pregnant with these energies, and we're really attuned here. I'm in tune not only with the people here now, but anyone who's gonna watch it. I'm doing something right now that's called non-dual presenting, where I'm connected to every mind that's going to see this, and I'm going to channel what is exactly needed to be said so everyone's benefit. And so with that, I'm just going to go back to the slides. I'm getting to start with a little bit of context. We're going to go back to the slides here, and we're going to go to the next slide, which this course is for people who want more energy. You want more energy? Then this is the play course for you. And this is the presentation for you. It's also about rapid transformation. Who wants that? Who wants rapid transformation? Who wants energy? Who wants altered state mastery? And by altered state, I don't just mean entheogens. I mean any when you learn and go into different states from happiness to depression to tired to enthusiastic to any state, if you understand more deeply who you are and how to use them, you're going to make the most of every moment. And that's what this course is about, is mastering your life by mastering your energy. And who wants a peaceful mind? Who's excited about having deep inner peace, even when it's chaotic around you, so that you can make the best choices? Well, the teachings that I'm going to teach in this course and give you some nuggets from this webinar are all about that. Who wants increased self awareness? Self awareness is the doorway, intimacy with life. Well, not only self awareness of you, but what about with the patterns of life? Life is like a game. When you know it so intimately, then you know how to master it. And this is what this is about, is really getting more intimate with these patterns of life. And happiness. Who wants more happiness? Who wants to feel great about being themselves, being on this planet? Uh, and who wants to be transcend their stuck patterns? Everyone's got some patterns maybe they've had for their whole life that maybe they know that they serve they don't want to use them anymore, but they can't get out of them. And that's the cornerstone of what this course is about, is the new codes and how to do that. In fact, we're in this webinar, we're going to address exactly why those patterns are stuck and how to get beyond them. And with that, reduced anxiety. Who wants reduced anxiety? And also, who wants increased compassion? Who wants to feel better about themselves and other people? Who wants to have a greater range of feeling, of depth and emotion? Who wants higher performance to really go for their dreams? And who wants a deeper understanding of life? That's what this course and this webinar is about, is tapping into those things. And in order for us to do that, I want to first start off telling you a little bit about me and my story so you can understand a context, but then we're going to focus the rest of the time on you and serving you and your questions and how you can apply the lessons from my life to your story. And so that's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover my story. We're just going to get some lessons, and then we're going to apply those lessons to you and talk about how the lessons are baked into the course. And that's the structure for today's call. So I want to start off with my story, and I'm going to show you two pictures to show you a before and after. So that guy in yellow, I'm talking to my friend Ted, who's the guy all the way on the left there, and he said, Jonathan, I remember the first time I saw you and now, and I can't believe how different you are. And he was saying, pointing out to this guy over there, I was way overweight. I was really thick. It was a meditation retreat. It's the first time I ever went to a meditation retreat, and I fell asleep and I started snoring. And people are like, "What's this guy doing here, man?" Like I was like kind of new to this community, and it kind of made an interesting first impression to these people, and some of them are like some of my closest friends now. But this is me at age 39, and I want to talk to you about what I was like at age 39, and then how I became this guy now, which is me at age 53, where I have way more energy than another guy, way more connected to spirit, way more on target. And I want to talk to you about how I actually went from one state to the other. And with that, I'm going to drop the slides here and kind of come back. Where's the stop share? There we go. Okay. So I want to just, like you, I was in a lot of stuck patterns and in a lot of pain. At age 39, I was not the person I was today. I was in a job that I was kind of like, it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but I wasn't excited. And I was trying to do whatever I could to change my life, but I couldn't do it. I was in a lot of stuck patterns. And actually, I was really anxious and I was judging myself a lot all the time. I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but a lot of self-criticism. I felt like I was here to do something important, and I was letting myself down. And I just was judging the shit out of myself. And I was really overweight, and I didn't know why. And I felt like really helpless. And really, what I was doing was avoiding. I was, instead of actually being with those feelings from my 20s and 30s, I entertained myself. I was a guy who got into a lot of subjects. I went to a lot of concerts. I went to a lot of sports. I did a lot of study, but I wasn't really feeling, and I wasn't really that great with in relationships either. And a lot of the women say like, "Hey, you're just kind of too in your head," and got to this kind of midlife uh, point at 39 thinking, something inside me said like, I can't do this anymore. I don't know what it is that I need to do to get to another side, but I'm going to put all my energy into figuring out what that was. And at that time I was on some ADD medication, and I just was really unfocused, and I realized I needed to get focused. And so that was a moment like where and I want to pause there, because this is one of the most important things anybody can learn about transformation. The real transformation starts when you get to these moments. This enough of this. Like, you just can't do it anymore. Those are the people that are really going to get to the other side, because it requires some energy to actually move into this new state. And so I want to start there and pause that that's a really important thing. It's not a bad thing. A lot of people think pain is a bad thing, but pain is just an indicator that something is out of alignment. And that's a really important thing because a lot of people push away pain. And so what happened was I ended up deciding to go into getting into meditation. And meditation, I went to this Tibetan meditation, and it allowed me to see what was happening in my own mind. I thought I was like kind of cool and everything. Um, like I knew I was unfocused, but I didn't really know what was going on in my own mind. I was actually hiding things from myself. I realized I was keeping myself busy and I wasn't actually know what was going on in my own brain. And that's one of the most important key lessons is that until we get into deeper touch with what's actually going on in our own being, we can't actually get out of our stuck patterns. I don't know if people can relate to that. Feel free to mention that in the chat. And that's kind of the specialty that I'm here for. And what happened is had such a profound effect on me. I kind of committed my entire life to this practice. And I what happened was they had said something. I had a life philosophy of like trying to figure everything out with my brain, with that to figure out the best percent chance of succeeding, and that wasn't getting me what I wanted. And this teacher said, "Hey, Jonathan, you can know things beyond mind." And I was like, "I don't know why that is or how that's possible," but I decided I'll give it a try. And what happened was I started to get guided by intuition, and that's what changed my life. And it started to guide me to other techniques to complement what I was learning from the meditation, and it was about energy. And it turns out that the subconscious is like, in order to really see what's going on there, we need energy to penetrate it. Think it's like imagine like if you had a more powerful microscope, so you could go deeper into the unconscious and see the patterns and the stories we have in there. Uh, you could make a lot of progress because a lot of people think meditation is about like concentration, and concentration is just a part of it. In the Vajrayana Buddhism technique, the goal is to just to get to concentrate enough so that you can see what's going on in your own mind and then work with those parts. Because most people are confused. A lot of people get hyper concentrated and they don't actually deal with the deeper parts and they don't really change that much. The real change is actually penetrating your own psyche, seeing the programs that are in there and rewiring them. So these are some of the key lessons from the story is the importance of energy. So I studied with a lot of different energy masters. The field kept guiding me to energy masters and different meditation teachers, and that's the key is to how it's really what I found out is the key to rapid transformation is really doing three things in a certain order with precision. So we talked about the number one is you got to have energy and you got to have the right energetics. There's what there's just the amount of energy, like just taking a Red Bull, but that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the right kind of energy. The energies have different flavors, enthusiasm's different than peace, and you can even put them together like we were doing. So how do you get different energies together? So that's number one is you got to know how to work with energy in an intelligent way. Number two, you got to understand that life is about patterns. There are known patterns for transformation. There are known patterns for transcending the traps of the mind. And when you put the right energies into the patterns, then your life starts to get a lot of movement. And so that's just to cut through all of this. That's all I focus on is help people understand these are the patterns of your mind. These are the patterns of transformation. These are the energies. And I call myself a psycho spiritual stacker, meaning I stack these things together in an intelligent way so that you can see what's going on in your own mind and then rewire it. And I show you how to do that. And then you're a new you. And it's faster than anything else I've seen out there. And so that's kind of like the whole kind of process. And I want to go back to the slides really quickly, and then we're going to start doing some more interacting with you guys. So let me just pull up the slides real quick. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so I want to go through maps. So I want to go through this map real quick. This is one of the kind of maps. There's certain maps, patterns of life. And I just want to really ground this in because this is one of the most important key lessons. There's this intelligence that's called the survivor, and its job is to keep you alive. And we're all kind of born with this intelligence. And then we have another intelligence that's called the reactor or the emotional intelligence. And that's job is to feel and feel when it's doing the reactor is performing at its highest level, it's just feeling fully. And then when we get above the reactors, this intelligence called the thinker. And the thinker's job is to divide things into good or bad, right or wrong, to create a boundary. And when we're a little kid, we only have these three intelligences before we get develop our higher intelligences. And what happens is, as a child, especially in the first 6 years of life, we program how the survivor works with the thinker, and we program how the reactor works with the thinker. So the thing is that as we grow up, we get more intelligence and we develop the optimizer. And the optimizer is the part of the upper mind that sees things through multiple perspectives and has a lot more energy, more creativity, a lot more novelty, a lot more problem solving building. And then even beyond that is the soul, where you can connect to your own Holy Ghost, your own kind of higher self, and connect to the divine weaver, who's the Father, who can kind of see all the souls, and you can learn how to connect to them. And the problem is that most people can't connect to the illuminator or the weaver that often, and they oscillate only sometimes into to the optimizers because they don't they their survivor and their reactor are programmed by a lower energy. And so that's a big thing to understand. And so I have this little slide right here. This is it. The key for everything is to reprogram the uh, the survivor and the reactor. And I'm going to talk more about this from using the soul intelligence and the upper mental, and then we can have a lot more energy. Because when we're judging our life is bad, it drops our energy. And it turns out from a higher perspective, everything in this life is already perfect from a certain perspective. And how we actually see life is how life mirrors back to it. So the more beautiful we see life as it is, the more beautiful our lives will actually be. So again, this is kind of just getting back into what I was saying before. So the key skills to master our consciousness, the process of transformation. The metaphysics is about the patterns of life I was talking about, energy and energetics, and then altered states. Altered states is more than entheogens. It's just shifting states because a lot of times our consciousness is fused with different stories. It's really helpful when you get into an altered state, even like just having a lot of higher energy, like if you just ate well or exercise, you just see the world differently. And so if you know how to use the different states to change the stories in your mind, your ability to transform goes a lot faster because the stories that we have in our unconscious really dominate. So what you want to do is learn to use the energies to see the current structures deep in your consciousness, reprogram it, and come on to the other side, a new, an improved version of yourself. And so just to kind of last part here before I want to get into talking to you guys directly and showing how to apply these tools to your life is just to give you a little bit about my experience. I spent my formal education is in this field of organizational development, which is also known as change management. I've worked with like this guy, Edgar Schein, who's one of the founders of the field. I have an MBA with a focus on organizational development. I spent like 18 years doing this kind of work for the Volpe Center, which helps improve safety for the federal government. I led professional organizations, so I'm really attuned to the process. I have mastery over the process of transformation, and I have mastery over Vajrayana Buddhism and integral theory. I've been studying Vajrayana Buddhism since 2011. This guy, Dan Brown, on the left, he was asked to bring the secret teachings of Tibet over to the United States and the West, and I studied with him. And the guy next to him is just his top one of his top disciples, John Churchill. And below that is like there's some other Vajrayana Buddhism teachers in there. And the bald guy on the right is Ken Wilber. I never met him, and well, I did recently met him at a conference, but I really studied his work, and he's deeply influenced about the patterns of life, and I know that kind of work inside and out. And then energy teachers. That guy on the left's really important. He was the one who has that six intelligence teacher. His name is Donnie Ep, Energetics, and he taught me about how to flavor energies. And we'll talk a lot about how to pick different flavors and apply it to the right part of the process. And the guy on the right, his name is Sifu Jones, and he's an esoteric chi teacher. And what he does is amplify energy. So we want to pick the right energies, and then we want to amplify the ones we want to use in every moment. And that's what I show people do. When you get the right energies and you amplify them, you put it the right part of the process, man, the things go fast. It's almost like magic. And so with that, and then the last part here is the altered states. I've worked with all kinds of altered states, psilocybin, DMT, THC are probably the ones I work with the most, but I've probably sampled a lot of other stuff too, and I'm an expert on that field as well. And so that's going to be a big part of the class now. They're getting hot for a reason. We need these now because they penetrate the psyche when they're used intelligently. And this entire class is about mixing these all things together, including how to get the most out of your altered state experience. So let me stop that and come back. So with that, I want to start to show you how to apply these to your life. And so, is there anybody here who would like to volunteer about maybe a challenge or an obstacle? They got like a free coaching right now where I can show you how these tools kind of work. Because it's one thing to talk about it, but I'm going to give you a direct experience. I'm going to give you something. So, does anybody want to volunteer? And we got some plenty of time here, so we can do a few different people. Ariella, you
Sure,
or
I'll jump
JP?
in.
Okay, JP, you go first.
Okay.
What do you got going on today?
Well, it's a pleasant sunny summer afternoon in Vancouver, British Columbia, and I'm here in Canada for about another month and a half. Then I'm heading home to Mexico, and then I'm heading off to Southeast Asia and India for a few months. So I've got a whole bunch of adventures down the road, but I've got a few tasks that I need to wrap up to get myself prepared for that adventure coming up.
Great. And is there some sort of obstacle or challenge you'd like some help with today?
Well, I find that I am sort of losing my enthusiasm for day to day routine stuff that I know I've just sort of got to get through.
Hmm.
I, you know, living too much in the future of my upcoming trips and not enough in the day to day of, well, I do have some things that I just need to get done before I go. So I got to buckle down and do them. But
Hmm.
it's much easier to just postpone and listen to interesting workshops on the internet like this and so on
Uh-huh.
rather than buckling down and, doing a few hours of yard work or whatever needs to be done.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna get into we're gonna do a little bit of an embodied exercise. It's gonna take just like a couple of minutes, and we're gonna
Okay.
see if we can help you with that issue. I want you to close your eyes and put your hands over your heart, and tell me what's it like when you're in this position? How much energy do you have?
So it feels like a sort of a balanced, neutral. There's no particular energy flow. I'm just sitting here quietly listening to your voice.
Okay. And so on a scale 1 to 10, would you say it's like a five? You know, like
In,
one?
in terms of in terms of physical comfort, it's probably about an 8,
Yeah, well, I got there's comfort, but how much energy is there to do stuff?
4, maybe
Four.
4,
Okay, great.
maybe
All right, now
3.
close, open your eyes up and put your hands way up and out, and get out way outside yourself. Like look way out. And
Yeah.
what's it like up here? How much energy you got up
Whoa.
here?
There's a lot of blue sky, a lot of energy up there.
Yeah, so how much energy do you have now?
Quite a bit more.
Okay, great. So,
About a 7.
seven, great. Put your hands down. Great. So what that tells me is that you have a lot more energy when you're outside of yourself. And so I'm betting when you do your routine stuff, you're going inside. Anytime your energy drops, So in order to kind of get stuff done, you got to get your energy up. And so we're going to do one more thing to kind of help you with that. So
Okay.
so so uh so what I want you to do now is to start to recognize this little tip changed my life. This little thing, and that's what I'm here to show you how simple things can make the biggest difference. What if you like planted a seed deep in your consciousness that every time that your energy drops, but you need it to get something done, you simply start focusing your attention somewhere else, out of the place that drops it. Are you willing to run that experiment?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, simple, great. So put your left hand up like this. So we're gonna talk to your higher self. Is there a word that you like for your higher self? Do you like soul intelligence? Do you like Holy Spirit, higher self, or some word that you might use? I know you go to India a lot. Is there a word that you refer when you're talking to some part of you that's a little bit more meta?
I talked to my guru, Sai Baba.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Okay, so you can connect to him on a regular basis.
Um, I'm aware that the connection is always available, and sometimes I forget to talk to him
Okay, great.
and acknowledge him.
All right,
But
let's.
if something wonderful happens, like I discover something that I thought I'd lost and I retrieve it again, then I thank Sai Baba.
Okay, let's allow Sai Baba to just, how like do guru yoga, like we can pretend he's here right now.
Yep,
Okay, so let's just say he's here and imagine that he's planting a seed in your consciousness to help you be a better version of yourself. Do you give him permission to do that?
absolutely.
Okay. So now every time JP is in this place where he's procrastinating, where he's needs to do something, and he's kind of like distracted, help him see where he is in space. Because when he's inside of him, he's not going to have enough energy to get stuff done. But if his attention is up and out and outside of him, there's a lot more energy there. And all he has to do is remember to look up and out, and then he will actually get have enough energy to get those tasks done. So what you're going to do is you're
Look,
going to
look up and out. I like it.
great. So put your other hand like this. So we're going to have you got your gurus placing in your consciousness, so you know it's going in there permanently. And then this hand is just going to represent the new instruction. So there's a two-step process. You got to be aware of when you're procrastinating and you need to do something, and then how to get the energy so that you can do the task. All right. And all you're going to do is
Gotcha.
you're going to go back and forth like this. You're going to go back and forth, and you're going to get permission for your guru to place this new program in I call this like a new program in your consciousness is an upgrade. We're getting an upgrade right now. So back and forth, back and forth, back and forth like this. Start to bring your hands closer and closer together. We're symbolically doing a ritual to combine these ideas. So three, two, one.
Yeah.
So all you do now, clap your hands. And all you do is merge those two ideas. And since I want you to put this energy kind of like up here, like a halo, and just kind of like energetically put it in like solid, like this, like you just it's there, okay? And yeah, it's also good to do that little ritual. It only takes like 1 minute in the morning, and then you'll get it as a habit, and then you won't have that problem with procrastination anymore. So give that a
Great.
try. And let me know how it goes, because all it takes is little energy exercises like that, and you get yourself into a better pattern. So was that helpful?
Yep, that was useful. Thank you.
All right, cool, no problem. Sounds good. Great. Anybody else? Ariel, you said you had a question? Go for it.
Yeah, no, I don't really have a question. I'm really excited for this, but if you wanted to do an example, I'm up for it.
Yeah, what's a challenge you got, or where would you like to have an energy upgrade right now?
Well, I'm generally just depleted right now from giving my energy to others, and filtering people's problem, like try,
Hmm.
challenges through me physically.
Hmm.
And I'm at this point right now where I'm just so physically exhausted. I'm sure you could feel it.
Yeah, yeah. Is that a problem? Are you trying to what makes that a problem?
That I feel like I'm sacrificing my own energy, and I know the ways to replete myself, so to
Mhm.
speak. But I feel like at this moment I could use a boost, if that makes sense, or
Okay,
just
great.
completely surrender and let myself
Oh.
rest.
Well, I'm getting why don't you give yourself you committed to have enthusiasm and tenacious fascination for this. Oh, you missed that part because you came in late. But you're in a
Yeah.
field where there's a lot of energy, and we might as well get you up with us. So I want you to we're going to do a meditation, a quick meditation thing here. Um, I want you to I don't know if have you, is anyone I'm not sure. I'll just kind of go there with you. And I don't so and everyone else in the group, you guys can do these exercises too, even if you've so I want you to find uh let's say you're normally, if I said where's your sense of self? Where would you say you are right now?
My heart.
Okay, great. And I've we did an we Ariella and I met at Burning Man last year, and I did an energy session with her. And I remember that you had a lot more energy when you're outside of yourself. And if you're resting in your heart, there's not a lot of energy there for you. So I'm wondering if you can put your attention on the field outside of yourself, and just put your hands up and allow yourself. Uh, you ever does anyone ever talk to you about like how the field outside of you is kind of like its own field. It's like I know you do energy work. It's like a whole big field. What if you weren't you, but you were the universe outside of yourself that has like unlimited energy everywhere? Can you open your eyes? You got to open your eyes. You're closing your eyes. This doesn't work if you
They're
close your eyes.
open.
Okay, open. Oh, you are. Okay, sorry. I didn't see that. And why don't you just really expand and just be the field outside of you and allow the energy of the universe to come into you and just say like, hey, give me you like another 90 minutes of energy and then you can crash or maybe an hour or whatever. How does that feel?
Feels great. Actually, I wanted 60 minutes, not 90.
Okay, 60 minutes. All right, good. Can you feel the energy coming in?
Yeah, I can.
You gotta allow it to charge you up. I want you to stay here just for 10 seconds and allow just say I give myself permission for energy from the field to charge me up for an hour.
I give myself permission from energy in the field to charge me up for 1 hour.
All right, and just feel it. Anyone else can do this as well. I don't know about you. I'm getting tingles like all over my body. How
Yeah, me too.
are you getting it too? You feeling better?
I'm feeling it coming through my palms.
Yep. Yeah, me too. Yeah, just let it come in. Great. Yeah, and other people, you guys can use this too. JP also, you can combine this with the other thing you did. And then this is it. You can get a quick surge to get whatever activity you need to get done.
And then, Jonathan,
Yeah.
once that's finished and like I just got that energy, is there
Yeah.
anything I need to do to close it or be grateful for it or thank, or is there something, or is it just simply receiving it?
I think it's always right there for you. I mean, it's always good to be grateful. Yeah, it's always good to be grateful. And I'm trying to show people it's easy to access energy. You just put your hands up and out, you access a field where there's energy everywhere.
It's amazing what I just felt. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was amazing, Jonathan. Thank you.
Yeah, and so that's really important. These are kind of simple things. So now I wanted to, before I do work with somebody else, I want to point out there's these bandwidths of energy. Remember, I don't know if you remember when I was doing those slides and I talked about the six intelligences, they had like a 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, 6G, and each of those means there's like a bandwidth that you can connect to. And so what's going on is because we talked about the programming. When you're a little kid and you program yourself that you can't be with certain emotions at certain intensities, that means it's kind of like your mind's like a computer. There's some part of you that's always looking out uh, to uh, to figure out like to avoid because you have a program every kid. So this is the way it happens. We kind of come into the world like out of our mother's vagina. It's like a dimension jump. You're like jumping out. You don't know anything. You're like, what the fuck is this? You can barely do anything except for poop. Like spit or whatever. Can't do much, and like you're helpless. And so it's scary. And it's like we forgot about it because it's like, we don't have enough energy even to remember those. But what happens is this survivor, in order for us to like help navigate the first few years of life, we kind of cling to some psychological strategies to kind of soothe us when things are too crazy. And then they form our whole being because we cling to them. They're about safety. And there's almost like a program in our mind. We forgot that the safety strategies that we pick become like our personality, and we don't we forgot that there's a higher energy being that's behind it, like our soul, that's able to do a lot more. And so imagine you're connected to this like almost like a virus protector, and there's some part of you is out there like trying to make sure you don't feel these intense feelings that you did, and it's running all the time, vigilance. It's like an energy hog. And so when we learn to relax that guy, we just have a lot more natural energy, and we can move away from being like just seeing things from black and white, and we can open up our creativity, and we can open up our connection to a higher dimensions. I mean, when I was started meditating, I was agnostic. I didn't have any conscious connection to spirituality. It wasn't a thing for me. I wasn't never thought about it, but I was like open-minded. I was like, oh, sure, I'm here. I might as well try it out. And boom, all of a sudden, like weird things started happening to me, like voices out of nowhere like said like, "Hey, I was watching on Facebook, Jonathan, can you like watch this movie?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know who said that, but I'll watch the movie." And that movie got me all into looking into alternative ideas about the political system, and that maybe that rich people are using divide and conquer even to this day, and using some psychological manipulation. And I never knew about that stuff. And then as soon as I started researching, I was like, oh, there's something to that. And I started going down the quote unquote rabbit hole of looking at the mainstream life and going into this looking at alternative perspectives. I was like, wow, this reality tunnel is way more interesting than I thought it was. And it opened me up spiritually, and it enabled me to get into like cryptocurrency and learn about like libertarianism, which I never heard of, and then more spiritual teachers. And I started studying with a lot of spiritual teachers, more than what I just showed you. And what I'm doing is I've been able to cherry pick the best of the transformational practices, and I feel like a spiritual calling because it might change so much. I mean, I went from like really like what's the percent chance I might be successful to like every moment I feel like the spirit's guiding me to the most perfect opportunity. And life is just an opportunity. It's just a pleasure place. It's just a place for me to experience magic. And I mean, it couldn't be in the idea. I didn't even think about magic before, and now I've been working with my clients for so years, and it's kind of happening for them. They're having more energy and more uh, kind of things are getting easier. They're breaking habits. For example, James, I don't know. Do you have them? I don't know if you're able to talk, but I was wondering if you could. I know we've done some work together. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about shifting your energies and habits. Are you available?
Yeah, I'm here. Hey,
Yeah, yeah. I was
Jonathan.
wondering if you could just because I know in the work that we've known each other for what, like a year and a half now. Like what maybe you could talk a little bit about some of the what's been going on with you and related to that.
Oh, sure. Well, it's been awesome to be able to take control of where I want my mind to go. Catching yourself when you're off and having a lot of tools, a lot of tools. I mean, you've taught so many tools, so many, but even the few that I remember, if I can remember to AAA through something or celebrate that I recognize, hey, I'm spiraling down, and to wake up and um, be aware of like how awesome this life is, and that I'm doing things that I love, and finding a passion, and feeling like you say, um, great abundance for everybody, and like every part that we play in this awesome thing that's happening. So yeah, it's still a lot to learn. I mean, it's life, man.
Yeah. I wanted to highlight a couple things. Thanks for sharing that. So one, he mentioned something called AAing, which is something that's really important. Tools and techniques to reprogram your mind. So we have these patterns of feelings that we decided we don't want to feel. And James was referring to one of the techniques that I showed him how to feel things so we can get out of his avoidance patterns that JP was talking about. We all have these avoidance of going for the thing that's best for us. And when you learn to feel your feelings, you get to more your authentic truth. Because when you don't feel your feelings fully, you go into these defense patterns. It's not the real you. It's more, it's this like overlay. And that's when people are triggered. That's why people are so easily divided and conquered, is because it's easy to trigger people. Everyone's in their trigger patterns. This isn't something that's just happening to a few people. It's happening to everybody on the planet. And so when we solve this problem, it's going to lead to freedom. I know a lot of people think it's going to lead, we're going to need like to crush the Federal Reserve and cryptocurrencies, and I'm all into that. But if we're also until we work with the problem that we're also divided within ourselves, we're still going to like fight, and we're going to be easily manipulated. But once we get clear on how we feel about things and we can stay grounded, we don't get easily triggered, then our discernment goes way up. And then the population will be able to understand the complexities of the reality tunnel, and we'll be able to pick new patterns as a collective. So I see the individual divided in ourselves, like some part of us believes we can't be with reality as it is the key central missing piece to liberate our species. We need to connect, and then all that other stuff will be able to get spread. Those other kind of best practices, which are important, but we need to also include the spiritual part as well. And so one of the things that also just want to comment about what James was saying is this key ability to use your energy more intelligent. To if we all are better using our time and our energy, then we're going to be able to get more stuff done. We're going to be able to accomplish more. And this idea that there's not enough to go around is a BS story. It's an old story that's created when we believe we can't. We come out of this womb in our first few lives. We believe we can't handle life as it is, and we got to make up like protective things. I think that our internal protection and this collective government protection are kind of inside outside mirrors of each other. So when we remove our inner shadows, well, the outer shadows will also be released. And it's all about using our energy more intelligently. Yannick, would you like to have a turn? You got something you want some support on?
Yeah, I suppose I've been um the way that I have begun to see the world. Well, it's hard to put words to, and I practice a little bit, but I'm not in a good location or position to practice a lot, but to allow the spirit to come to a place of gratitude and appreciation to such an extent that I can see or put words to like some of the collective lessons I've gotten of the realm of the beyond time and space, and the realm that which Moses told the slaves was good as it was created, and they're just they learned the lessons of bondage and continued to live as slaves, and that's exactly what they're doing. Another version of Cain, who built the first Tower of Babel by killing his soul or his brother, whichever you choose to see. seers and prophets speak a lot with very few words, and the world is led by the masters, if you will, the high priest of Satan, the wolves in sheep's clothing. It's all tied, and I've faced, because of I went on the journey of trying to purify my heart, stand in that crucible, and I was rewarded with having my spiritual eyes open in such a way as to know that when I'm in the presence of God, I am guilty, and I have no sense of, I had no way to look God face to face. And I guess
What
that's
do
some
you
of my
feel
story,
guilty
but
about?
I don't feel guilty in anything
Uh-huh.
now, but previously I had to go. I was given clues to mysteries that I had to go get to the bottom of, to find where I was guilty, and where I had my judgments, my whether there were words or not, what my choices, my actions,
Mhm.
my words, my ways of being interpersonally caused suffering.
Mhm.
And that's where the true followers of Christ, at least until Rome
Mhm.
got involved and made Christianity. They
Mhm.
invented Christianity, whereas it used to be the followers of the way that Christ made. Well, Rome, the rich man doesn't give up everything he's counting on in this life. Doesn't even realize that he's just flesh and his soul is a prisoner.
Mhm.
But anyway, I'm
Yeah.
rambling. So anyway, how to speak truth to power, and you know the way of the world system is that they kill people who speak the truth. With that, so they rule by shame, and everyone else is ruled by shame or fear of shame. The sheep that follow the wolves, the blind that follow the blind, leading them.
Okay.
It's all. I mean, it's all wrapped up. I mean,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
far as
Let's
I
let's
I
let's
could
slow
speak
down
it.
for a little bit. I'm getting the word everything is pulsating through every part of my meaning, and I think you mentioned the Christ is to really talk about compassion here. Because compassion for ourselves, compassion for other people, even compassion for oligarchy is going to be the doorway that's going to open ourselves up. And so I'm kind of getting that like, um,
Well, in a day of AI,
mhm,
where the truth will be placed into a computer system by these people, to try and come up with a better story, you know, and you know, they're the world system is
uh-huh.
death. In the realm of spirit, it's Rome is comfort, security, and safety are all euphemisms for death, because it's control. It's um, he who judges shall be judged according to the way that he judges, or I can't remember exactly how they say
Uh-huh.
it, but basically, your judgment becomes the law of the land that you occupy, and you
Okay,
become.
Yuck, I want you to come back to my screen here, and I want to go back to this model I showed you before. What's going on is that the oligarchy is getting people to stay here in this lower mental. They're getting people to judge themselves. They're putting them in shame, and they're doing all this stuff to make them feel afraid. They're putting people in their survivor, and they do it with all the audiences. The Democrats are like, if you get Donald Trump is going to get office, then it's going to be Armageddon. If the Republicans are like, if Kamala Harris gets a president, it's going to be Armageddon. And then the conspiracy people are like, the Federal Reserve is going to inflate everything, and we're all going to be shooting each other. It's going to be, it's like everybody's in fear, and basically everyone's in their survivor intelligence, and there's not enough energy in surviving to come up with win-win-win solutions. We have to move here. We
Or
have
even
to get our energy
consider
up
them.
to the upper mental. We have to be able to say, how can we all win together? And we need more energy. And so I hear what you're saying is not wrong. It's getting it's giving me an opportunity to talk about one of the most important lessons that I ever learned, which is what are we referencing? If we keep referencing the past, which is well, past that we remember, which is all divide and conquers and kings and oligarchy, and we think that's all there is, then we're going to keep repeating that. But if we're able to access the future where we all are at peace and we start referencing what is it in the future. And so I actually don't reference the past anymore. And this is one of the key points in the class. There's not a lot of energy in referencing scarcity. As it's just we all feel like a victim. Everything you're talking about is like about being a victim, and you're not alone. Most people feel like a victim. They feel like they're being run over. But if we start with like, hey, everything's a magical gift. We don't even know how anything exists, and we trust, we have faith, like the Christ is saying, we have faith, and we focus on this future, this heaven on earth that the Christ talks about, and we draw from that. Like, what is the next step that we need to do in order to do that? And we just work with remember I was talking about the process of life. And if we keep judging like we're not there yet and therefore we're bad, then we're gonna spin our wheels backwards. But if we start with like, hey, this is a magical gift, and I don't know about you, but I kind of feel excited about the whole situation. I'm like, I know we're gonna succeed and I know I'm going to see magic happen, and I just don't know how it's going to happen. And that's how I orient. I don't orient from the past where it didn't work. I orient from the place of it already happened, it worked, and then I'm just re-remembering because I'm channeling from that higher energy. I'm channeling from that spiritual intelligence, from that soul intelligence, and I want to show you and other people how to connect to these higher channels. Because if you're always at the lower mental and survivor, you're going to keep spitting out the same story. So I want you to put your hands up and out and look up and see if you can get some more energy. You have ability to do that? And I want you to look up and trust. What if I know you believe you're a spiritual guy. What if the secret for you is to connecting to a new energy bandwidth? How do you feel up here? Do you have more energy than you normally do?
I don't know. I just had 2 shoulders replaced. I can't
Okay.
quite do it. I've got a lot of pain to
Okay,
as far as
let's
I
put
can
you. I don't
go.
want to put your hands down. Just put your I want you to look up and out and find the version of yourself that's like 3 years from now and connect with that person and ask them like what advice do they have for you right now?
Well, it's let the Holy Spirit speak.
Yeah, that's it.
But that goes back to the things that aren't practiced by most, which is when you come into the presence of the awareness, or come into the awareness of the presence of the eternal. That's the most important thing. You want to make you don't want to give that up, but it always happens, and then you work to get back there.
Yeah. Well, dude, you just said something brilliant. Your future self. Here's my takeaway for you, for your tip, is when you start getting it, noticing that you're in these stories, like everything's a disaster, start connecting to your guy 3 years from you who just told you the secrets. Start connecting. That's your ticket to getting to the Holy Spirit, is to talk to your future self. And that's what this program's all about, is helping people get out of these survivor intelligence, the lower mental, reprogramming our feelings so that we can have our Holy Spirit, soul intelligence are 2 words for the same thing. It's just more Holy Spirit's the Christian word, the Buddhists call it like Dharmakaya. Every tradition's got a word for it. But how do we connect to these higher energy bandwidths where we can be guided by something bigger than us? And we're just gonna learn how to do that as a species, just as you just said. The wisdom just poured out of your mouth. All I have to do is do a quick shift, and you saw the truth. and the
Well, this is
Holy
where I've been
Spirit
living
of God is us.
for a long time, and I've been living there for quite some time
Mhm.
since I've stood in the crucible and burnt out the corruption. But it truly is like being totally reborn and rewiring and your whole nervous system.
Yes. And so what you just said is the point of this is, and you notice because of what you said before, it wasn't really when you first were talking about some of it, I didn't felt like a little bit you were coming still in your survivor, which is normal
No,
because everybody
I'm just putting
oscillates.
words to I mean, I could speak 6 ways to Sunday and explain, what they're talking about, like, why Jesus, cursed the fig tree because, fig trees don't produce life. They produce, an agglomeration of things to hide behind. And that's what the Israelites, when they were worshiping an idol made by man, they were tossing their firstborn, which is the spirit,
Okay.
um, represents the spirit over the wall that they built around Jerusalem,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
where they burnt, and
yeah, I
that was
got
where
it.
they burnt the trash.
Yeah, I get
It's
you. I
all
need
connected,
I need to serve the group here, and I want you to notice.
right?
Um, there's some you might not notice it right now, but the when you looked up and out, there was a different energy about you. I don't know if other people
Right.
saw it in the room. You were succinct, you were right to the point, you had magic, and then other times you said wise things, but you weren't as clear as you were before, and that's okay. That's normal.
Right.
Everybody's like that. It's called an oscillating pattern. And what this program I do does is help them connect to the Holy Spirit just more often until eventually the Holy Spirit goes into your being, just like it went into the Christ. And that's possible for everybody. It's a process, and that's what this course is about. And that's what this is. And it's about getting smarter with energy. It's about reprogramming so you spend less time in the survivor. We're going to help people understand what puts them in their survivor energy, what puts them not feeling their full feelings, and helps them connect to the higher energies. That's the game plan. Once we spread these tools, it's all over. The oligarchy's not going to stand a chance because we're going to be able to outcompete the old way of doing things, and everyone's going to want to do this, and we're all going to win together. We're all going to forgive the old stuff because the people who are quote unquote doing suboptimal things. People call them evil, controlling. They're just doing it because they're at a lower energy bandwidth. It's not because there's anything wrong with them. They just don't know how to use their energy intelligently yet. They don't know how to master their mind. They don't know how to master process. They're the same God as us. They're just in a different energy states, and we're stuck there as a species. And now there's enough of us who've achieved this higher state that we can start to spread it and spread it quickly. And this isn't just a course, this is a spiritual movement. And it's not just me. There's lots of people are doing it. I know some people here. I think I've met all of you from different places that are feeling the energy. Some of us are in Costa Rica, connected to like Earth Waking Village or the Diamante Valley. There's a lot of transformation there. JP, I met in Mexico. There's a lot of magic going on there. Anarchapulco. Ariella I met at Burning Man. It's no accident. We all met at centers where there are people who are aggregating both on the left and the right who are going to do this. So the last part I want to do here is just tell you what's in the course and connect to it and get questions about the course, and then we'll wrap up. Let's go into that. And thanks for everyone's participation. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Okay. So let's get into the course. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend a lot of time in the first 3 weeks sessions. It's every Saturday for noon Eastern time for 90 minutes. And you also get 2 one-on-one sessions. So there's going to be a lot of different energy mastery techniques to quickly get you out of one energy level, how to track your energy levels. We're going to how to name them. We're going to get really intelligent. We're going to bring energy tools from both my energy teachers. And then we're going to study a lot of stuff about the mind. We're going to master the mind. We're going to understand the different parts of the mind and how to get into the parts that connect you to the Holy Spirit, the Father, the soul intelligence, the Weaver, and what are the parts of the mind that keep you in your defense pattern. And I'm going to use a lot of archetypes In session 5, we're going to help you get familiar with your own recipes for low energy. You're going to get to really know your own personal defense patterns, and we're going to show you how to use your energy so that you can get out of those defense patterns faster. And then also so there's one part managing it, and then we're also going to help you feel deeper. Like James was talking about that technique, we're going to help you to rewire your thing. So instead of bypassing certain energies or certain feelings, we're going to help you feel your feelings fuller so you can be with reality as it is. And it'll get out of trigger patterns, and you'll sharpen your discernment and be able to connect to the spirit easier. And then we're going to move into session 7, where we're going to talk about compassion. We're going to look at how to use time and like different contextual factors to look at from a bigger view of ultimate reality. And then that's going to really open things up. It's going to open your heart. It's going to help you move off of some things, maybe where you're blaming yourself and other people, and into compassion. Just like the Christ talks about, compassion is the doorway. Then we're going to talk a little bit about entheogens. We're going to bring in a guest teacher. I'm going to bring in my friend Chris, this guy on the left. He's a shaman, and he works with all different kinds of psychedelics, and he's going to give us a deep download about all the ins and outs of how to use psychedelics, when to use what, where, his insights on how to prepare and how to integrate. He's a great guy. He's a really close friend of ours. He and I also have a podcast together called Unleash the Mystic, Sacred Steps Toward Divinity, that's coming out in September. And then we're going to prepare for an altered state session. In 11.9, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to use the energies, all the stuff we learned from sessions 1 through 6 or 1 through 7, 8, all of them. We're going to bring them together. We're going to stack them. So you're going to be really ready to have your altered state work for you. So you can have a life-altering breakthrough during session 10, which is the breath work. And the breath work is going to be led by another shaman here, my Randy McGee. She's a close friend of mine. She's amazing. I've experienced her magic, and her breathwork sessions are incredible. She's going to lead that session. She's a professional at this, and we're going to do that kind of altered state together on Zoom. And then session 11, we're going to talk about how to integrate it. And so that you can have permanent, lasting changes. It's not just a good story. Yeah, I did some things. How to bring it into your life. And then lastly, we're going to show you how to take all these tools and bring it into your life for good. And so you can have lasting change, and so you can use them ongoing. So this program includes 2 one-on-one sessions with me. Each session is 90 minutes. There's going to be a signal chat. The price is $888. And it's well worth that. I'm sure you'll have every session could be worth that amount of money. I've curated the best practices from all these experts so that you can save you a lot of time and energy. And as I said, it starts on Saturday, and every session is recorded. So you'll get a recording. You can watch as many times as you like. There'll be workbooks, guided meditations, and all other kinds of goodies. The other thing is some people are just signing up for the class. The other thing is some people are getting the class as part of a one-on-one thing. Some people meet with me for like 90 minutes every week. James was in on this package. A lot of people are in the course have done this. And that includes, in addition to the course, you'd meet with me once a week for 90 minutes, and you'd get personal adaptation. Like, I'm a channel, so I customize all the wisdom I have. I connect with your soul, and that's 4,444. So that includes 3 months of 90 minutes. I think it's 13 sessions, plus you get 2 more for the course, and you get the course. That price is 4,444. There's already about, I think, 10 to 15 people already in the class, a mixture of some people who are doing the 3-month package and some people are just doing the course. I take all kinds of payments: Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, credit card, crypto, wire. So we got all kinds of options, and there's different ways of keeping touch. But we got lots of time left here, and I want to answer questions about the class. What kind of questions do people have? Was that clear? Is there anything you want me to review?
Jonathan, just that the sessions are at 12 Eastern and they're for 90 minutes.
Yep.
And they're recorded. When will we have access to the recordings?
Yeah, right away. I'll basically download them and probably within 30 to 60 minutes of them finishing, I'll upload them into the cloud and send them to people.
That's amazing.
And yeah, the sessions, I mean, Ariel, you've had a session with me at Burning Man. How valuable was that?
It was incredible. I mean, yeah, I think it was one of the most profound parts of my burn that year. And Georgia, and we've stayed in touch ever since. And I knew that I wanted to take one of your classes, and now the timing was aligned.
Perfect. Yeah. Because just those sessions alone can be life altering. These little tips, one of these little tips that I just gave out in the session can change your entire life. Just little things. And imagine you're getting 12 weeks of that, and including 2 one-on-ones. So not only getting 12, you're getting like 14 90-minute sessions with me, cherry picking the wisdom. Plus, there's going to be guided meditations, which you'll keep and you can listen to whenever you want. Yeah. What other kinds of questions do people have? And also, if people want to talk to me, I can send out a Calendly link if we need to get more information from me. Like if you want to do the kind of like the coaching session. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Or maybe we should move towards wrap up. Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap up with you all. And for the recording, I'm going to leave, since some people are going to want to see what's on the slides, I'm going to put up the last few slides for a couple more seconds so people can catch that information and pause. So if you're interested in signing up, there's why don't I put a couple of the links? There's a link to the course. You can sign up on the course page. So let me just do that. Let me just grab a couple of these links so people can have all this information. But yeah, I wanted to thank everybody who came. I hope you got something useful out of it that will upgrade your life. And you can also go to my website and learn more about me. It's www.mozenter.com. I've got there over 30 testimonials are on there. I've got my in-depth kind of biography. So here's there's the course. And anyways, thanks for coming. And I hope to see some of you guys in my course. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm just going to put, oops, I didn't put that into the whole chat. Sorry, I sent that to someone specifically. Yeah, if you have questions, I'm going to put my email in here. Anyone else have anything they want to say?
I'd like to know what it is that you said. I'd like to get a recording of what it is you said was so valuable.
What about for you? About looking for you?
Yeah. When I was in touch with the spirit, I have no idea what I said, but
yeah. So basically, for you, Yank, it's just like focusing on talking to yourself 3 years in the future. Look up and out and channel the guy that's like a little wiser than you.
Oh no! When I was channeling that guy, what I said, I'd like to have a recording.
Oh yeah, you can get a recording. I'll have a recording of this. I'll send you a recording. Do I have your email? I don't know if or I think I'm connected to you on one of the chats, right? The Signal.
Signal.
Yeah, I'll post it in there. Yeah, you basically just said connect with the Holy Spirit. Yeah, you're right.
Right. Right. But the truth, which might, unblind the blind and, like say, hey, the God of creation, the people that govern over you, is the enemy of.
Well, here's
the destroyer, the deceiver, the devourer of.
Yeah, well, I kind of think
that's all the most probable futures in their hands is complete destruction. And I know some Buddhist people say that we're in this umpteenth whatever time reiteration of history advancing and then destroying itself and coming back again. But I don't. That's not what I'm fighting for.
Well,
That's what they're going through.
I don't know. I don't know that the Buddhists say that, but or not all Buddhists think the same. I mean, I'm an integralist spiritualist. I think that we're headed towards heaven on earth, and basically, uh, I'll just say when somebody's seeing life like it's a victim and the people, the oligarchs are going to win, they're dominating us, they're at a low energy, and that's okay. That's where most people are at in life. And when you connect to this, the Holy Spirit to me means higher self, and we let each Holy Spirit, everyone has their own connection to their own guides. Everyone needs different instructions. But however, there are some universal truths, and the universal truths are about these defense patterns that keep us in low energy and this ability to connect to a higher version. Each person needs different strategies to help get out of it, depending on their situation. So when you connect to your own spirit, then you're going to get guided by your own soul. And that's the key to everything. That's why I saw the genius in that. So what you need exactly is everyone needs to connect to their own personal guides and then they'll be guided. And so that's what I'm not here to be someone's like lifelong guru. I'm just here to help you connect to your own inner guidance. So then you have the right energies and tools to be guided. And that's what the whole course is all about, how to do it on a more consistent basis. And I saw a glimpse in it when you tried that technique. You were much simpler, you're much clearer. And then when you weren't in that using that technique, you were kind of it seemed like you're in a lower victim kind of like the oligarchs are going to win kind of thing. And that's not the energy that's going to get us there. We got to be optimistic and realistic. Optimistic meaning we're going to win, but realistic is life works in a certain way. That's why I'm talking about patterns of the universe. We're going to talk about the patterns of transformation, and we're going to show you how to do that individually and collectively. This is a 3-month course. It's not going to solve all your problems, but it's going to show you that when you focus on energy, patterns of the universe, master your mind, master your energy, master the patterns, that's it. Everything else, there's a lot of patterns. It takes a little while to get these tools down. That's why it's a 3-month class and not a 90-minute session. And so you got to get these grooves in. And then once you start getting on these right grooves, it starts having a life of its own. And I've seen it within myself. I've seen it with my clients, and people can kind of go to my website and see all the people I've kind of worked with. And for those who are excited to give us a try, I'm excited to work with them. And I'm a volunteerist, and I know each person's Holy Spirit will guide the right people to this class, each person's soul intelligence. And so trust your own instincts. And so anyways, I want to thank everybody for coming today. And I will send this video out to all the people who are interested in. And I'm going to let everyone go. I'm going to put up just a couple of the slides at the end because I don't think I put them up very long for people who want to get that information. So if you want to just hang in there and see the information I put in the last few slides, that would be helpful for a few of the people. But also you're free to go. So let me just kind of share that. So yeah, so for those who are interested in staying in touch, here, pause the screen here. Here's my email. Here's my website, my YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can sign up. And for those who want to go right to payments, these are the different types of payments: Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. If you want credit cards, send me an email, either Jonathan@Mozenter.com or Mozenter@Proton, and just say I want to pay by credit card. Send me an email if you want to set up a meeting too. Oops, I kind of hit the button by accident there. Sorry. Then we got, this is the price if you want to meet with me weekly. This is the price, $888 if you just want to take the course. This is my website, Mozenter.com. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Bye, James.
Bye,
everyone.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm really excited.
Yeah, thanks for signing up. All right. See you guys later. Thanks, Yannick.
No, I won't be able to sign up because I don't have any cash.
Okay. Well, I hope our paths will cross. Thanks for coming, Yannick. Try out that technique and let me know how it goes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks for coming, James.
Thanks, Jonathan.
All right. James, are you still here?
I'm still here.
I think it's just you and I. Let me hit off the recording.